Thank God it's Friday.
Oh my god! Wow!
What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters Allstar video. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the latest free-to-play FES card set to be added into the game with the latest update, which is of course going to be the Through Darkness set. But before we get into all of that, make sure if you guys are new here and you enjoy daily King of Fighters Allstar content such as this, you smash that like button and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get into this latest card set and talk about what the differences are between it and its major comparable, which is of course going to be Serena. So let's go ahead and take a look at that first. And as you guys can see on screen here, these are going to be the two card sets that we will be tinkering around with today. So of course on the right hand side we have the Through Darkness set, which is going to increase your attack by 7% per card and increase your attack by an additional 13% while giving you 15% power when tagging in and increasing the attack of the fighter who is tagging in by 13% for 7 seconds. And then on the left hand side we have the Serena set, which is also going to increase your attack by 7% per card, but then does differ a bit in the special effects as it increases your attack by 13% and then increases your attack by an additional 15% for 10 seconds and gains 10% power when tagging in. So I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys here. The Serena set on paper should be outputting more damage than this card set. The main reason as to why is going to be the difference in the amount of time that you have with that additional attack buff. As you guys can see with the Serena set, you are going to have a full 10 seconds, whereas with the Through Darkness set, you are going to have 7 seconds. However, there are a few other differences. You will notice that Through Darkness is going to give you 15% power, whereas the Serena set is going to give you 10%, and then the Serena set is going to increase your attack by 15%, whereas the Through Darkness set will be 13%. So there's a couple of small differences there. Of course, on paper, the Through Darkness set is going to be the underdog here. We are not expecting it to be outputting more damage than a Serena set. All we're really looking for here is to see just how much of a difference those stats make. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, of course, the Through Darkness set is going to give you that extra power, which is going to make it far preferable for things such as time attack, which is a big deal for this card set and a place where I think that it is going to shine in particular. However, if you're someone who is new to the game or you're someone who is an intermediate and you don't necessarily have a bunch of Serena sets laying around, of course you'll love to have Through Darkness because that is going to allow you to do a lot more damage in any mode where you're tagging in and out. Now let's take a look at the details of the tests, then we'll go into those. We did 10 runs for each one of these sets using the SS Hinoka with 2 maxima cooldown reduction option cards. We also do 29 skill rotations per awakening here, and we are going to be starting with the S3, ending with the S1. The following clips are an average representation of the sum of those 10 runs conducted. As always, I'm not going to show you guys all 20 runs that I did for both of these sets combined, because that would make for a very long and obnoxious video. But what I did is I went ahead and I just picked a couple of clips that were good average aggregates of what I was seeing from all of these tests. And of course we are going to be going into Spider Robot doing this. This is going to differ a little bit from our traditional tests because of course you have to be tagging in and out. So what we go ahead and do is we go ahead, leave our character that we are going to be using for our test, which is SS Hinoka, leave her in until her awakening rotation's up, tag her out, tag someone else in, wait for Hinoka to be off of cooldown, tag her back in, tag in our striker, and then go to town. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the tests themselves. We'll start out with Serena, or otherwise known as the With Courage Once More set. So let's go ahead and get into it. So again, what we do here is we go ahead and tagged our Hinoka out after she had her awakening rotation up, then tagged her back in when she was ready to go again, and went ahead, tagged in Hotaru to drop the shield on the spider, and then we'll go ahead and start our awakening, and starting with S3, ending with S1. 29 total skill rotations for all of the clips that you're about to see, so everything is going to be asimilar across the board, so that way these tests are as accurate as possible. So as you guys can see here as we go through using the Serena set. The first clip I chose here is a good average of what this set was doing over the course of those 10 runs, which is, as you can see, around 47 million damage. So this card set in particular is going to be doing anywhere between 45 and 47 million, depending on whether or not you are going to be critting and so on and so forth. So this is kind of going to be your high-end number that you're going to see using this set. Now, it is worth mentioning, I did have one test in particular where I did manage to hit 48 million. I'm assuming that had to do with crits based on the footage that I saw, but I did, of course, try to pick 2 clips for each one of these card sets that I used during these tests in order to give you guys a good average representation. So that is what you guys are going to be seeing here with the Serena set. You're going to be seeing anywhere between 45 million on the low end and 47 million on the high end, and depending on crits, you might end up seeing a little bit more than that, but that is a very good representation of what this card set was doing on SS Honoka against the Spider Bot. So that's pretty much what you guys can expect to see here from this card set. So that gives you guys a good baseline now going into looking at the Through Darkness set to kind of compare it to. And again, we are not expecting the Serena set to fall to the Through Darkness set. We are expecting the Serena set to out damage it. That is just something that you would expect based on the fact that you are going to be getting that extra attack bump for that extra 3 seconds. But there you go. That is a good low-end average that you guys see there. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Through Darkness set and see how it compares. And again, same setup on the SS Honoka, same setup as far as the test is concerned, and 29 skills per rotation. So let's go ahead and get into Through Darkness here. Now, from the numbers that I was getting in these tests, basically the Through Darkness set was doing on the high end numbers around 46 million damage, and then on the lower end, kind of in your middle range, it was doing around 44 to 45. So that is pretty much what I was getting from all of these tests using the Through Darkness set. Now, the Through Darkness set, it is really cool that Netmarble decided to go ahead and give us a card set that, as you guys can see from these clips, is extremely similar in performance to one of the best overall card sets currently available in the game. The Serena set has really been a staple for a lot of people for a very long time. Now, of course, the only places in the game that you would typically want to consider a Serena set are going to be any of your game modes where you're tagging in and out. So your league matches, your guild raids, your time attacks, and so on and so forth. So really, with the Serena set and now the Through Darkness set, those 2 sets are going to be a little bit relegated when it comes to the places where they're going to be necessary or viable. However, in places where they are viable, they are almost always going to be the best possible choice for your card sets, or at least the Serena set will be. From what I am noticing with the Through Darkness set, I do think that other cards in the game right now can potentially pace it and do the same amount of damage that I was seeing here. However, that is circumstantial. I would have to go through and test a bunch of these different card sets in order to do that against it, but just based on prior knowledge of testing using SS Honoka in this same scenario, I do remember that some of these other card sets can potentially pace the same amount of damage as Through Darkness, so keep that in mind. So it's not going to be doing as much damage as the Serena set would be. However, that is something that we expected going into this test. Again, a lot of that is going to be by proxy of the fact that you do have that extra 3 seconds with that extra attack bump, but that is the numbers that I was getting you guys. Overall, in general, the Through Darkness set is absolutely wonderful. It is on par with pretty much all of the best card sets in the game currently available. So if you're comparing it to just the cards on the Unified banner currently that you can get, then this is going to be right up there with the rest of them. As far as comparing it to Serena, of course, Serena is going to output more damage, again, for the fact that you don't have as long a time with that extra attack buff with the Through Darkness set as you do with the Serena set. However, the Through Darkness set is going to be much better for things such as time attack, where that extra 5% power charge is going to be great. So in general, you guys, this card set is a wonderful option for everybody out there, no matter where you're at in the game. Everyone should be farming the Rush Dungeon and the Yokai event as much as possible in order to pick this up during the event window, because this is a card set that you will be using a lot, and as we all know, time attack is of the utmost importance, so having a card set that is going to be almost tailor-made for it is of course going to be a big deal. So make sure you guys pick this card set up. It's a great set and cannot recommend it any more highly. So that is going to be today's video, you guys. I hope you all found it informative. If you did, make sure that you guys smash that like button and subscribe. I will be back with tomorrow's Saturday Chat and Chill, but until then, you guys enjoy your day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Continue.